What is up, everybody? My name is Torabi. I'm one of the co-founders of Restart CBD, and one of my favorite things to do is bake and cook. So I'm going to start a new series. I don't know the name of it. I'll think of it by the time I upload this video, but I'm going to be going through this Edibles Cookbook that was gifted to my sister over the holidays, and I thought it'd be a really fun way to not only show you guys how versatile cannabis cooking can be, both sweet and savory, but also how the Levo machine that I use to infuse all of my cannabis coconut oil. A lot of these recipes do have dairy and gluten, so I want to note that all the ones that I will be doing, I'll be converting them to more of a dairy and gluten-free realm, unless I just absolutely cannot mimic that. But today, like I said, I'm using the Edibles Cookbook. We're gonna be going over just a recipe at a time for each video. I really hope you guys enjoyed this series. If you do enjoy this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, a like down below. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And you can always shop all of our hemp flower either online at restartcbd.com or in our shop in North Austin. And I'll link all of this information below, including my Levo oil machine. I have a few videos on this channel actually of me actually utilizing it, my thoughts on it. Full disclosure, it's one of my favorite machines to use. It's super easy to clean, super easy to use, and I use it anytime I need to make cannabis oil or cannabis butter. So that being said, there's also an affiliate link down below. If you do choose to buy one, we really appreciate you supporting us by using our link, and then, it helps just thrive through the cannabis community. Before I get into the recipe, what I like about the Edibles Cookbook in general is that first and foremost, it's really freaking cute. Like, they did a really good job with photography, with the color scheme. They are also really educational in this book. So if you're just super unfamiliar with cannabis and infusions and have a lot of questions, they have 4 main infusions, being butter, oil, honey, and maple syrup. And they show you how to do them, what temperatures to do them on, and all that stuff. So if you do not have a Levo machine, don't worry. They actually go over all of that in the book of how to make your own infusions. And then those infusions will be used in the rest of the recipes. So they did, again, a really, really good job. Also, they go over the importance of cannabis, what to look for sativa hybrids or indicas, different terpenes, their therapeutic effects, cannabinoids. And again, I'm not gonna go over the whole book right now, but it is extremely, extremely educational, like I said, which I really appreciate because Restart's brand is all about education. And yeah, so I think it's just great for an overall beginner too. So if you're new to cooking, new to cannabis cooking, I really think that this is an awesome book to start out with personally. And we're just gonna go through the recipes and see how easy they are. Like I said, I love to cook, I love to bake. That doesn't mean I'm the greatest chef or baker on the planet, but this one we're starting out with is actually a really simple one I think you guys are gonna like, and it's really mimicking a Nutella. So what could you not like about that? For today's recipe, we're going to be doing a chocolate hazelnut spread. Look at that. A chocolate hazelnut spread. What you need are 5 simple ingredients. You need salt, some hazelnuts, some baking chocolate. In this recipe, it asks for heavy cream, but again, I'm making it dairy-free, so I'm gonna replace it with coconut cream. And then, of course, your cannabis oil. They actually ask for cannabis butter, but again, I'm doing it dairy-free, so if you wanna swap for butter, I'm sure it would taste just lovely with that, but I'm gonna use my coconut cannabis oil today, and I think it'll pair nicely with the coconut cream. So let's get started, shall we? Equipment you need for this recipe, either a blender or a food processor. You also need a saucepan and a whisk just to help stir things up. Start out, what I need is in a food processor. Wow, I can't speak today. In a food processor, I'm gonna measure out my nuts, and it asks for 1.5 cups of roasted, unsalted hazelnuts. You don't have to peel them. Great, love that. Tastes awesome. What do I need? 1.5 cups. I'm gonna pour them right in here. And since this is a nut butter, the measurements don't have to be exact in my opinion, which kind of makes an even better recipe. I'm in a 1/2 cup. I'm just gonna measure to the halfway mark. There we go. And it says process the hazelnuts for about 5 minutes to give a loose nut butter, pausing every few seconds or every few minutes to scrape down the pan. Yada, yada, yada. So I'm gonna go process this, wait for it to become a nut butter, and I will be right back. All right, so it's definitely been over 5 minutes. The recipe said to, you know, within 5 minutes, this thing should turn into like a little paste. I've been doing this for at least 15 minutes and it's definitely just now getting there. Maybe because I didn't roast my hazelnuts, so there's not as much oil being let out, but ultimately right now, it looks very much like a chunky nut butter. So this is what mine looks like right now. Essentially, I'm just gonna use it because from reading the recipe, having time to contemplate, it looks like it's more of like a chocolate with a subtle hazelnut spread. You have the coconut cream in there to make it a little bit more loose. And you just really want just a little bit of hazelnut. So now I'm gonna take this mixture. It says to only take a quarter of a cup. I might go off grid. You know, that's all about cooking and baking. It's what you do. You just go off grid, go with your gut. Because it says you can freeze this for other uses, but literally I don't know when else I'm going to use hazelnut butter other than this recipe right now. So until that day comes and I figure it out, I'm just going to add probably most of this mixture. So it's asking for a quarter of a cup of this, but what I added to the blender in general was 1.5 cups, which is crazy. I'm going to go to the stove, add to the coconut cream, and this essentially is what we're looking at. I have my coconut cream in this pan. I'm gonna turn the heat on to about low to medium. I'm gonna get my nut butter. This is what the nut butter looks like after processing it. It'll definitely hold its shape if I were to use my hands on it, but for this purpose, I'm just gonna be adding in, you know what, I'm just gonna add all of it in there. That's what it looks like now. And from here, we're gonna wait for this to heat up. I'm gonna cook it through a little bit, maybe a couple minutes, and then I'll pour it over the chocolate once it's warmed through to melt the chocolate and create the spread, and then add the coconut oil. So be right back. All right, things are moving pretty fast. This is already nice and thick of a consistency of chocolate. And I'm going to pour this hot mixture over the chocolate and let that melt my dark chocolate chips. Now I see why they only wanted you to add so much of that nut butter, and that's because it got real thick. Okay, lesson learned. If you're doing it at home, only follow the recipe. See, the chocolate's already being swirled into the hazelnut, and then I'm gonna meet you guys back over there because it's better lighting. Okay, I'm just mixing this guy. The chocolate is melting beautifully. The coconut, man, the smell of chocolate is just so dang good. So it says after I mix all this together, I'm pouring some of my canna coconut oil and then also a little bit of salt, which just helps bring out those flavors. It looks a little chunky monkey, but hopefully that's okay. It definitely does not look as smooth as theirs, and that's probably because I added so much of that hazelnut. What I need of this, 1 tablespoon plus 3/4 of a tablespoon. I'm just gonna add 2 tablespoons because 3/4 is practically 2. Me going off the cusp, so don't listen to me, but this is what I'm doing. Doing 1 of those, 2 of those. This is my infused coconut oil. Look how dark that consistency is. This was a good mother effing batch, let me tell you. And then I'm gonna mix this up with that new canna coconut oil now. Hoping it doesn't split and it just, oh yeah, this would be so good on like some toast, like an oatmeal bowl in the morning, just for a little bit of that wake and bake, wake and chill. Whether you're using CBD or THC heavy cannabis, honestly, it's a really mild amount of it, so you could absolutely just microdose with this, which is the greatest part, I think. Last but not least, just a little bit of salt. I think that's good. Now, it's honestly a really great recipe in a way to just kind of get, again, a little bit more creative with what are your canna butter for. So let me give it a try. Hopefully it's not too strong because I do have to go to work. I'm really curious to see how strong the marijuana flavor is. That's delicious. That's really good. This is done, and that's it. I mean, like I said, the picture, look how smooth this is. It's because I used too much of the nut butter. Look how smooth this is. Look how chunky mine is. But again, it was my first time cooking it. Like I said, I'm not a chef. I'm not a baker. Those who out there who do dabble in cannabis cooking or just cooking and baking in general. If I did something wrong, please tell me. I would love to learn. But yeah, it looks like, unfortunately, I mean, I watch other cooking shows, it looks like this is splitting a little bit. I think it's because I added too much nuts, and that's just my guess. Recipe 1 is down. It was the easiest one. Just make sure to follow it if you do get into this book. And then next up, I am gonna be doing a video next time on these carrot cake energy bites. So stay tuned for that. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoy cannabis cooking and we learned a lot, at least learned a little bit from this video. And just, cannabis doesn't have to be this scary thing. It doesn't have to be this crazy out there process, but you can make really simple, tasty foods with cannabis, and it's microdosing, and why not? These are great gifts for people. People love getting edibles. I think it's a hoot. That being said, again, thank you so much for watching. My name is Sydney. You can always shop all of our hemp flower at restartcbd.com. Come visit us in Austin, Texas. Make sure to subscribe and like this video if you did like this video, and support our channel. And also follow us on all social medias, Facebook, Instagram, and sign up for our email newsletter. And I'll see you in another video. Bye, y'all.